everybody, one and all. This is the GamezAttack podcast here on OldFreakyGamer.com. This is episode 58, Giant Changes of GTA 6. Welcome, everybody. It's going to be a little bit of a start of a somber kind of a show today. I hope you're ready. A little somber here. Go figure. Stuff, time goes on. Things happen. We can't predict it. We could have predicted some of this stuff, but basically, what am I going to say here? I had a whole thing thought out, and then I just lost it all like usual in my brain. We can predict a lot of stuff, but you never think that things that you love will ever go away. But you should. You should think that things that you love can go away, because that's life. Things build up. They're born, they build up, you grow up, everything grows up, and then it eventually withers and dies. That's just how life is. Now, depending on how the lifespan is for any particular thing or moment or person or idea, that's just something that we gotta live with. And I'm talking about GiantBomb. I grew up with GiantBomb. I grew up when GiantBomb was pre-GiantBomb. When I, got some decent friends, one in particular, back in the day, I grew up super poor. Me and my mom. Sure, I had the rest of my family, but they didn't have much money. None of us did. Grew up super poor. I had freaking dial-up internet all the way till past high school. I didn't get high-speed internet until I got a job, and I started paying for the high-speed internet in the house, because I'm like, Mom, I'm sick of the dial-up. I'm sick of you getting on the damn phone. We only got one phone line. We need some high-speed internet up in this bitch. So I was the first to get high-speed internet in this house. And prior to that, I went to friends' houses where they had high-speed cable internet and all that, and they would watch. My one friend was watching, and this is when I was getting back into gaming more. I was into gaming, I was doing a little bit of it, but I was really getting into doing more gaming stuff in the early days. That's when I was into podcasts and all the other stuff. I was getting really big into gaming in the early days, and this was like pre 360 era. Yeah, PlayStation 2 360 era. I know that's like a while back, but and those are big different gaps in time frames, but that's about when I was really getting back into gaming, because I was into gaming when it was all the 16-bit eras and stuff like that. But then I fell off of it for a while, because like I said, I was poor. I had, a Game Boys, I had hand-me-down console units, I had that stuff, but I was never really had any of the latest, greatest stuff until a PS2. Well, even the PS2 I didn't get till way down the line, and then I got to finally play GTA 3 and all the other stuff. So I got to have it, and it was a long generation, so I was happy to have it, because there was always new games coming out for the PlayStation 2 and stuff, and I was able to play Vice City, all the other stuff, and and then after that, when around that time frame, give or take a few years or whatever it was, I don't know the exact time, so don't you can comment on it and stuff if you want in the comment section, but I don't know when GiantBomb, it was like down up show, or down up, or whatever they used to call it back before it was called the GiantBomb cast. And it was, it was Jeff Gerstmann, it was all the early people, Vinny Caravella, not Alex Vernaro came a little later, what's his name? Brad Shoemaker, and I'm thinking of what's his name? Shit. And I should remember his name the most, because he's one of the main founders of Gerstmann. I'm so stupid. There you go. I had to pause because my brain was all over the place for a second. Ryan Davis. I should remember him the most, but, my brain. Old man, Mr. Mike Brain. That's why I call this Old Freaky Gamer. So Ryan Davis, Jeff Gersman. There was another guy, but they don't really talk about him either. But then you had Vinny and you had Alex Navarro. You had a bunch of other guys. Brad Shoemaker. The people that I remember originally. And then Dan Riker came a little later and some other people. But it was mostly those group of people, and they came up. You heard their stories many times over. If you listen to other people's gaming podcasts, or you listen to them now in their own podcasts, like Jeff Gersman and Nextlander people, which is Vinny and Alex and Brad and stuff like that, and you listen to their podcast now, that. On what they went through back in the day when the GameSpot era and all that other stuff, when they were treated poorly and nobody understood and everybody had their own ways, and then they got fired and people left, and then they formed eventually GiantBomb with Whiskey Media and all that, and that's when the Basement Crew became the thing. They had their studio in the basement of San Francisco, and they were this ragtag group doing quick looks and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I was watching them review games, play games, and I'm like, that's cool. I want to do that someday. And at that time, it was not that easy to do. There wasn't a YouTube, there wasn't anything like that, and I was like, shit, how do I do gaming and put it on videos and stuff like that, or stream stuff? That's cool stuff they were doing back in the day. And, it built over time, and then YouTube came around, after Twitch and Justin TV and stuff like that. YouTube came around, and that was the era where Twitch and all that stuff, and Justin TV and YouTube, the streaming and the posting era. When all that came out, it's like, oh, now I can finally do this, sort of. Because still, it was a matter of having some money to buy some computer equipment and video cameras and all that other stuff. And I didn't really know anything like that production-wise, back in that time. And, compare my earlier videos, which I do have up. I have my archive up of my older videos. If you watched from the GG2cast era, when I was first doing videos, they were hot garbage. They don't have the production that I have now, which, I throw all this stuff together willy-nilly. It's still cheap stuff that I do, but look at from then to now what you can do with just OBS, like Krita is your Photoshop thing, and it's all free, and then you just look up some news stories, do this, that, and you could put some gaming video on there like I do now, and anybody can do it. And everybody does do it. And from then to now, it's just like, I got no green screen anymore. This is just recent, but, freaking NVIDIA Broadcast can do a green screen, no green screen thing. So I got rid of the green screen behind me because I don't need it anymore. I don't think I can turn it off with this, but shit, it's like, everything changes and technology changes so rapidly and things change so rapidly. It's like, it's all craziness. But for my love, it all started from way, way back in the day when it was like the Down Up or Down Down. I should have looked up the original name of it, but the original before podcast, that was GiantBomb. And I was at my friend. That's when I had my new friends and stuff. I wasn't very popular back in the day or anything like that. And, met my nerdy friends, which was great because I was a nerd. I was a wrestling fan, but I was also a nerd. And them introducing me, the one guy introducing me to GiantBomb and all that, I'm like, whoa, these guys are sweet. They're older, but they're sweet. And I'm like, this stuff is fun. I like listening to these guys. They're not talking just political bullshit and stuff. They're talking about the games. They're having fun. They're playing. They're doing quick looks. They're making jokes. They're doing all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, I want to do that. And then, throughout the years, I watched them. And then eventually when I got some money and stuff, I was able to support them a little bit. I did their subscription services a little bit. I bought some of their merchandise. Like I got the GiantBomb shirt right here. This is probably the last thing I ever bought from GiantBomb before it got sold from CNET to, fandom and shit bullshit like that. And You know, I supported them because they still have Gersman and they still had some of the crew there. And, you know, I still wanted to support them by subscription. And then I dropped it all when they went to fandom, and then they fired Jeff Gersman and everybody else quit and left, you know. And that's when I stopped. And I'm like, ooh, this is bad times. This sounds like bad times. Now, you got people like Jan and Dan that came back, Dan Reichert. You have that Jeff Grubb guy. He came into the scene. He's pretty all right most of the time. Sometimes he'll have his political bullshit. And they had a couple other people, and then they had the two young kids that I do not like, because those two young kids, and I'm not going to mention the names, you'll know who they are. They're very woke and politically, and I did not like that shit at all. That took away from the pure bliss of the content, taken away from, oh, this is trying to be talking about games, having fun, getting away from the political bullshit. And then they started bringing in that political bullshit talk and all that other stuff. Now, a lot of people still do that. Like, Gersman's been talking more politically lately. You got the Nextlander people, and, you know, they're all anti-this, anti-that, anti-Trump, you know, stuff like that. And it's like, guys, you're supposed to and I know it's their own stuff now, but a lot of things changed, you know, with them. And, you know, Gersman does less gaming videos. He does a lot of the NES and 8-bit era videos, but he does a lot less gaming videos and quick looks and stuff, and he doesn't really play through any games or anything online. The Nextlander people, they do a lot of gaming stuff. They do a lot less videos and stuff. They got their own stuff where they do more podcasts and all this other stuff, and they're more Patreon specific, because that's where they make their money from, and that's okay. But there's still been more political lately, and it's just like, it's not like they used to be. And I know they're older, I know they want to do stuff differently, and it's like, maybe you should keep most of the politics out, unless if it's related to the gaming industry. And I know a lot of people will say, but Mr. Mike, tariffs and all that are part of the reason why everything's going up in price in gaming and stuff. And yeah, I'm like, yes and no. Everybody says yes, that's because it's all because of that stuff. And if it didn't happen, if the tariffs didn't happen, things wouldn't be like this. But really? Do you think really things wouldn't got into this shitstorm the same way? I got a feeling that we would have ended up in this situation with or without tariffs. I'm sorry to say, folks, I think we would have gotten to this point. Either way. Now, those are my opinions, and that's all I'm going to say on the matter of that. I'm not going to go into a rant about, oh, he, she, and they're bad and whatever, but, you know, corporations, stuff like that, shareholders, they do ruin a lot of things, and, you know, everybody wants more pound of flesh, and we're in times now where they can try to do more bullshit and stuff and cause more havoc on that end, and to make things worse. You know, to make things more money. Everybody's trying to make that extra dollar. They're like, oh, this is a good time to try to say, hey, it's because of these tariffs. It's because of this. And we're going to raise prices and stuff. And we'll talk about that in a little bit later. But I think it's all just been a business plan and strategy. Nobody's really super scared about the tariffs and all that and whatever and blah. They're just like, ooh, this is a good opportunity for us to make extra cash on the side because we got an excuse. Because businesses and corporations look for excuses in the world and what's going on in the world to make extra money. Look at here in the United States, we got some of those, you know, epidemics like with the chickens and eggs. I don't think I hear about it too much now, but it still goes on. With the egg prices were going up and down, and it's like, oh, all these birds are getting the bird flu and all this stuff. Now you don't hear too much about that right now. Why not? But sometimes you do, and it's like, oh, the egg prices are going up to $8-10. Yeah, because they're taking advantage of that to make extra money on that. These companies, trust me, I worked for an egg supplier before I went into this restaurant business that I'm working on with people and, you know, doing stuff with. And I used to work in the egg processing facility for 8.5 years. I know what they do. I know what they do to make extra money. You'd be surprised at what these people do. And let me say this, they weren't poor farmers. Now, no, there are poor farmers across America, and they should deserve to get some more money into their pockets. But these weren't poor farmers. These are very wealthy, fourth, fifth generation, egg layers and growers and stuff, farmers. So they're not really that poor, Let's just say that. And that's enough what I'm going to say about that, because, they kind of treated me well, up to the end when I got sick and tired of working plus hour days. And I'm like, this is killing my body. Because once stuff kills your body, you got to listen to your body. You got to say, maybe you should go to another job. Anyways, GiantBomb got me through a lot of stuff. GiantBomb was the staple where I can listen to stuff when I didn't, because I don't really go hang out with people, especially nowadays. I'm more of a, you can call me an introvert. I'm both. I'm both an introvert and extrovert, but I like to be an introvert more because I like to be by myself more. That's why you don't see me trying to reach out to people to say, hey, come on my podcast, do this and that. I really like to be by myself. It's a weird thing, but I will hang out with people. I will be with people. I can be with people. I'm very good hanging out and being with people and stuff. But otherwise, I like to have my so-called privacy. Even though I'm not that private, I like, it's a weird thing. But throughout the time, though, that was because I was more of a loner or a lonely boy, That's because I had less friends and la-da-da. So like I said, some of the staples in my life, one being gaming and GiantBomb, that got me through a lot of stuff. It got me through my early adulthood and stuff, just listening to them and going, yeah, that's great. My job sucks, but yeah, that's great. And it brought me to where I am today. And, GiantBomb was like one of the main things that got me into wanting to do gaming podcasts and going to just do this OldFreakyGamer bit here where I do this for free, and I have fun doing it. If I ever do try to make a little bit of money out of it, I still think I should maybe do a little cheap Patreon or something, and I still want to do some merch sometime, but, it's all up on me if I want to get off my lazy butt to do it, and I don't really need to do it for money. I just would do it for extra money to put into, buying more games, doing more coverage of stuff for fun for you guys and whatnot, and from everything else. But that'll be, I don't worry about that stuff because this isn't my business. I have a job. This is just my hobby. This is what I do for fun, to relax and enjoy. But it was all thanks to GiantBomb because I learned from them. I learned from other people along the way on, creating content, doing this, playing games, having fun. And I'm like, I want to do that. And now I do that. And I've been doing that. I've been doing that for a long time. But back in the day, before I had all this better technology, I was doing it shitty. And, and now I'm like, well, it's not the best, but it's fun because I have fun just doing this stuff. And I don't care what people think. I do this for me. And if people like what I do and like me, then of course, join me and have fun. Listen to my podcasts. They're free. You can listen to them on any podcast app and whatnot. You can watch this on YouTube and stuff, or you can go to my website, oldfreakygamer.com, and it's all great. But growing up with GiantBomb was a staple. The people were the staple of GiantBomb, the creations and what they did. And even though it was on shaky times and current events and stuff right now with, all the political stuff and all that other stuff and some certain people that I don't care for over there, but most of them I did. Like I said, I mentioned most of them, and I liked it. I liked their content. I liked the non-gaming content when they did that, what is it called? The voicemail dump truck that they did. That was fun. Even though it's not gaming really related, it was fun, them getting phone calls, talking shit and stuff. That was fun stuff. I liked that stuff. I liked the content, some of the content, not all of it recently, that they did. And then the whole thing of them getting just side shackled because their parent company was sold and they were sold, and then their parent company that was all ad-based or content farms and stuff like that, and ad-based and all that fandom, and they're like, oh, we got this new itinerary for you guys, and we want you to just say and do what we want you to do and not just be open and free, because GiantBomb was always, even through the CNET era, was always, they got to speak their minds, they got to say what they wanted to do, and they did what they did. And now it's like, no, now we're taking over. We know what to do. We're going to tell you, GiantBomb, what to do, even though they don't know what they're doing and what to do. And if you don't like it, you can leave, or we're going to fire your asses. And that's what basically happened. They spoke their minds because they got this itinerary where they're not allowed to speak certain words, like I guess they weren't not supposed to swear anymore or something. They were trying to keep it whatever and to appease advertising or something like that. I don't know what it was all. The notion was it was about advertising. They didn't want them to say certain things, and then Grub or somebody on the podcast that never aired, because they said this is the lost podcast because they took it down. The main company took it down. Said, hey, you can't talk about our guidelines to everybody else, because here's the thing. The people at GiantBomb, even the newer people, they are open. They want people like me and you, the listeners, watchers, and followers, to know what's going on, because then if you notice that things are changing and things are happening behind there and you don't know why everything's changing because they're not saying anything, they wanted people to know. They wanted us, the people, to know what was going on behind GiantBomb, the scenes of GiantBomb, and saying, hey, this is our parent company, want us to do this stuff. We're doing some new stuff here, blah, 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 blah. And, of course, fandom didn't like it, so they went, no, and they fired Jeff Grubb. Apparently, that's what I heard. They fired Jeff Grubb. I think Dan Reichert quit. I don't know if he quit or he got shit canned. I don't know what happened to Jan. Nobody said, nobody knows pretty much, or they do, and they're just not saying what happened to Jan and the rest of them. I'm sure some of them might be still there somewhere else. I don't know. But Grubb's gone. Dan's gone. Jan, question mark. And yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. And basically, they shut down. The service is still up. The site is still up. There's no new content on it. I'm pretty sure, and I've been reading stuff left and right, and I have it over here, I think, right? I do. Like, I got this message. I don't know who this guy is, but he was talking about how this is bullshit. Basically, I will read this statement. This is on the GiantBomb website, and I'm surprised it's still up. It could be they could take it down. I'm sure maybe they just don't know it's up on the website or something. But Mike Minotti. Sorry, Mike Minotti. You too. I like you, buddy. He's crazy. He's a little political too, but he was awesome too. He's got his own thing. He's doing his thing with I think Grubb. Him and Grubb are trying to do their own thing. He's a freelancer over there because he works at another place too. But here's a message from somebody. I don't know who this is, by Marino Brad Lynch on May 3rd, 2025. I don't know who this person is, but this was on the GiantBomb website, so it could still be there, it could be gone, but I'm going to read this. Everyone, this all sucks. There's no other way to put it. I don't know what the future will hold for GiantBomb, which I'm going to say is right now, folks, GiantBomb is dead. It's blowing up. I got the logo right here. That's GiantBomb dying and blowing up. The bomb, like somebody else said, they pushed the button, the bomb is going off. I honestly I can't tell you where you can support the people who are definitely not here anymore and summarize publicly available information. Nonetheless, this is one of the most difficult editions of the Spotlight I have ever written. So I guess this guy does the Spotlight. Like I said, I don't really go to the website. I mostly watch their videos and their live streams on YouTube and stuff and listen to the podcast. I haven't been to the website a long time because, like I said, I don't really subscribe to the website. So I don't really go to their website because it was just not something I did. Nonetheless, this is one of the most difficult editions of the Spotlight I've ever written. I hope you all understand that the gaps in my reporting or errors I make from here on out are not malicious attempts to cover things up or redirect the community's present anger. I just don't know everything. In some cases, I just know as much as you do. Regarding the state and the status of the staff, we still don't have a complete picture. Grubb has formally announced he is no longer an employee, and Mike Minotti has stated he will no longer be contributing to any Giant Bomb content. However, he wishes love to everyone who is still working here, and at GameSpot, Turbo Sean has announced Fandom is no longer employing him, and his Venmo and PayPal account for people will be supporting them. Nikki also has links. So those were the two I don't really care about. Sorry. Those two should just try to do some other work. I don't know. I'm sorry. Politically, they were too politically incorrect in a lot of things, and that's just my voice on it. But guess what? I don't work for no giant company, so I could say that. Speaking of supporting the people who made the last 3 years of this site special, Toshi and the others from Giant Bomb Discord have created an incredibly helpful staff support. He hasn't mentioned Jan yet. Where's Jan in this? Whatever. The spreadsheet provides ways you can continue to follow and support people you have enjoyed watching on the site. I'm not going to probably read all this. Let's see here. The Giant Bomb Discord is now on an official platform and has formally disconnected from the site and fandom. You are still more than welcome to join, and for the foreseeable future, D-Toast will be there to resolve any site-related or customer service issues. Some of you have pointed out that Giant Bomb Wiki is unavailable for editing. This wiki has not been shut down, but has been locked down. Fandom triggered this to prevent vandalism. Of course, they would. Let's see here. Oh, those seeking subscription refunds or wanting to cancel their subscriptions entirely can send in a support ticket to D-Toast, which he will get to your request as quickly as possible. Concerning the forums and the pinned statement about the site's future, I will be as transparent as possible. The moderation team and I have deleted a few egregious posts calling for violence on people. That and jokes about detoxing have no place and you don't want to start doing that kind of stuff on a website. I can understand that. And he talks more about people making harsh and threatening death threats and stuff to him, of course. If there's something more you can do that may hopefully provide some catharsis, D-Toast has told me to say that you all are welcome to use this support ticket system to share how you feel as long as it is done without threats of violence. I know the last thing you want to do is work with a fandom-based system. However, if you can find it within you to share your hurt and anger, I know some people are willing to use and present your words as signs that things could have and should have been done differently. Let's see here. This is just more of them talking about themselves. But basically, here's the thing. If people that subscribe still to Giant Bomb, whatnot, I don't know what it's saying about merchandise purchases and stuff. If you want to cancel your merchandise purchases and stuff, I wouldn't. If I was people now, don't support Giant Bomb by purchasing any of the merchandise that might be still in the store. If that store is still up now, it might be, because I'm sure fandom would still want money from that. But I would not support them by giving them money anymore for that stuff. I would stop buying stuff. I know you would still want like memories of Giant Bomb and you would still love their merch, but buying it now is not the best thing. Maybe find some old used stuff at a thrift store or something. I don't know. Just remember it in your hearts from back in the day, but you don't want to support them now. You don't want to start buying stuff from the store now if you're worried about it all going away, because you're supporting a company that's just ruthlessly has been being basically anarchist, basically being communist to their product that they don't understand, that they're trying to take over and boot out all the people, and that's not good. But otherwise, if I was a person that subscribes to this, I would definitely cancel my subscription and try to get back any and all money that I can, because they're not providing me or you with the content that you were expecting, So And then there was other stuff I was talking about. This was Jeff Grubb. So, like I said, I think Jeff Grubb was the one that was talking about these guidelines with them, and they didn't like it, so they fired his ass. So, legendary video game website GiantBomb is no more. Jeff Grubb says out of a job at the moment. The gaming industry is getting even more volatile as of recently, and we have unfortunately seen the end of GiantBomb as we know it, which is sad because we love it. Let's see here. Okay, on May 2nd, 2025, a co-host and journalist Jeff Grubb bluntly confirmed his departure on BlueSky. For over 15 years, the company has had some of the most personally driven content and community we've ever seen, and it's a shame to see it go. The site was acquired by Fandom in 2022, and it seems there has been instability ever since. GiantBomb is now facing a strategic reset, which means it's going to go down. They're going to have to close it down. It doesn't matter if Fandom decides to try to hire new people or whatever to try to replace these guys, because nobody's going to want to follow them. Nobody's going to listen to them. And they're just going to ultimately die. It would be stupid of them to even try to do anything else with the site after all these people left, because they ruined it. They basically killed GiantBomb, and they're going to just have to eat the money and eat the costs and stuff. And I wonder what all that extra and all the archival content's going to be probably going down the drain. Unless if Jan or somebody backed most of that shit up. I would hope a lot of these people have a lot of backups of all their content from over the years. So they can at least keep some of it. And then if Fandom ever goes away and goes bankrupt and goes away, hopefully, because that company should just die itself. Yeah. Let's see here. But this is bad. And this all happened same time, like I said. So Fandom, which owns GameSpot and a network of wikis, bought GiantBomb in 2022, as you expect from the acquisition. The change in ownership seemed manageable, even optimistic at first, but behind the scenes, the company seemingly imposed increasingly rigid guidelines that stifled the authenticity of GiantBomb. Was known for, of course, because they didn't understand the product. Jeff Grubb stated on his BlueSky account, well, that was a dream come true. Knew it wouldn't last, though. Out of a job at the moment, but always doing stuff like on Patreon and stuff. You know, another Patreon. We found out that this when the site abruptly ceased live streaming content in April 2025. Just a few days later, the 888th episode of the Giant Bombcast was uploaded and quickly removed. The episode had openly mocked new brand safety guidelines issued by Fandom, including restrictions on language and tone. Because why would you want your personalities to be open and outright open and stuff like that? Why wouldn't you want them to speak their minds and talk about how things are going on behind the scenes? Because if it's making it harder for them, it's going to make it harder on the content, which is going to change the content, which means people are watching and subscribing to the content are going to go, what the hell's going on here, you know? And for Fandom to do that stuff is outright cruel. It's not like they're going outright out of their way to say Fandom, our bosses at Fandom suck, and they're not saying that kind of stuff, but I'm sure they had some good words to say about them on that stuff, and Fandom's like, fuck that, we're going to take you guys down. Live streaming was paused at the end of April, and major figures began to exit. Dan Reichert, who returned to the site in 2022, which 23, 24, 20, so 3 years, after a prior tenure, announced in April 30th live stream that he would no longer participate. Riker made it clear he had no interest in the new direction Fandom intended to take. And, of course, Mike Minotti stated on his BlueSky account, needless to say, I will no longer be contributing to GiantBomb. Nothing but love for all the wonderful people from there in GameSpot. Jeff was a workhorse and a hero for the way he shouldered so much responsibility there, and I am furious with the way the execs treated him. We aren't going anywhere. Of course, Jeff Grubb and Minotti are doing their own thing. Let's see here. And like I said, nobody knows what happened to Jan. Jan just disappeared. Like I said, I've been looking for some stuff on Jan, but I haven't seen nothing yet. I wonder what some of the GameSpot people are thinking over there, the GameSpot side of things, and it's just a sad mess. It's a sad mess, and this all happened at the same time Polygon got basically gutted and left for dead themselves. So it's just bullshit happening all around, and it's just not good. It's not good at all, and it's not good for morale. It's not good for anything. And because Polygon got sold to Valnet and was hit with mass layoffs, which basically killed Polygon. And all I can say about Polygon is I used to love using Polygon most of the time for E3 coverage and stuff like that and live streams. Polygon was really good for that stuff, and they had some good reporters and stuff there, and it's sad that Polygon is now basically gone as well. So that's more people gone from the gaming news industry. And I know these people like Grub and Minotti and everybody's saying, well, no, we're gone from those places, but we'll still be at our places doing Patreons and stuff. And I know all these people are saying, oh, we got Patreons, we got Venmos, we got this and that. Here's the thing, folks. Those aren't time true core ways to make money. You're not going to succeed nowadays in this stuff. People don't have enough money to pay each and every one of you anymore out there to do that kind of stuff. And I'm sorry to say, a lot of these people are going to have to go look for real jobs somewhere else, even maybe outside the video game industry. And that's going to be scary for a lot of them, because they're going to be like, I've been doing this for how long? And now I'm flipping burgers back at a Burger King or McDonald's or something. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but a lot of these people's lives are going to be changed dramatically. And like I said, some of them I was thinking that they were struggling a little bit. Some of them I could tell that were struggling a little bit, or there was like some things going on. And like Jan, poor Jan, he was a workhorse too. He was doing all that stuff. I hope he lands on his feet. I hope somebody else. I hope he maybe gets with Jeff Gerstmann or something. Maybe Gerstmann should hire Jan or something, or work with Jan and try to get Jan on his podcast or something and work with him with that, and they just work together, because that would be a good duel, him and Jan, because Gerstmann talked about how much he likes Jan, and they're both on the West Coast. They're both in California, so they could potentially be work together and stuff. Jeff Gerstmann's Petaluma, I think. Wasn't Jan in San Francisco or something? I don't know how far that is. It's probably pretty far away from each other, but they were basically they're in the same areas, so technically they can probably work together, even just over the internet, and do stuff, because that wouldn't be too hard nowadays, because the technology has changed for live streams. So I would hope Gerstmann might take on Jan or something, and a lot of these people should come. And this is another thing, because I don't want to go into it, because every other podcast was talking about it. This stuff, every other podcast was already mentioning this in their games news sections and all that. So I don't want to speak too much on it, because I'm an outsider looking in. A lot of these people know more than me, a lot of these people talk to these people and stuff, and a lot of them don't want to indulge everything, but I'm just putting out here what I know of as of right now, what went down. And I found out about this. When I found out that GiantBomb was basically no more is when I was like, wait, where's the podcast? Because I was looking at my podcast feed, and I'm like, wait, today's Tuesday. Tuesdays and Wednesdays is when the podcast goes up. Oh, they got no new videos. What's going on? It's like, did somebody die or something? I just didn't know about it. And I was looking everywhere. Originally, I was looking everywhere on the internet. I'm like, okay, IGN's not posting it. Which the funniest thing, well, not so funny, but still, it's kind of funny, because IGN likes to post all this kind of stuff. How come IGN didn't post anything about Polygon or GiantBomb? It's kind of interesting that IGN didn't post anything about any of this stuff, because they're the ones, out of anybody out there, they like to post, comment, and do any stupid news article about anything in the gaming industry or gaming press, and they didn't mention any of this stuff on the IGN website, which is really weird to me because usually they post about everything. They don't care if it's somebody took a shit in the alleyway. They'll post about it on IGN. You know, they don't give a care about what they post. They post a lot of shit on IGN. Sometimes too much stuff. But I'm surprised they did not talk or mention any of this stuff or cover any of this, because they would have been the ones that I would have thought of posting something like this and talking about it, but they didn't, which is completely weird to me, because I know IGN and I know they post like everything about everything because they want all the eyes on IGN and they don't care how they get it because they'll just post whatever. But besides that, other people in the know more than I do. But, you know, I did my digging, I did my searching, I listened to all the other podcasts. Some people on other podcasts, I'm just going to mention, let's just say, some certain individuals saying that, oh, Grubb and them were in the wrong, that they shouldn't have said anything. That guy can go fuck himself, and he knows who he is. So if any of you listen to their podcast, you know what I'm talking about. Go fuck yourself. They should be allowed to speak about changes within the site, even if they don't own the site, because their fan base deserves the right to know that their shit changing behind the scenes. And if things just change and people just go, what the hell's going on here? They should have the right to mention it. And the one guy's like, oh no, they should have known better to do that. They should have never did that. They don't own the company. And it's like, dude, go fuck yourself. Really. Go fuck yourself and your bald-headed boobiness. You know, you're such a pansy ass. I swear to God, I do not like people that, and the politics and stuff. I'm getting right back into it because there's just too much politics in this, talking of this gaming stuff and all the other stuff. It's like, dude, people want to listen to podcasts like this to get away from politics, to get away from all. Sure, I'm talking semi-gaming politics here about the story, but that's just what went down. I don't talk about, oh, this guy or that Trump guy or this. I don't talk about that shit. I talk about what's in the gaming industry. And I try to get as much positivity and positive stuff out of the game industry. I know this is a negative right now, but hopefully it's a positive for most people out there. But when other people say, oh, people shouldn't have done it, what? They're not supposed to let their fans know what's going on behind the scenes. Go fuck yourself. That's all I got to say. Go fuck yourself. I fully disagree on that notion. And I don't like it when they have the right to say whatever. Even if, you know, like I said, I choose not to like what certain people say about politics and wokeness and all that stuff. And I do mention it. You heard me just say it recently. And I just don't listen to those people, or I just don't watch those people. I don't go, oh, go fuck yourself, go die, or whatever. You know, I don't like those kind of people that do that all the time. I try to bring a positive spin. I try to make everything that people think is a negative into a positive. You know, like I'll say sometimes when I talk about tariffs and stuff, people hate it. Oh, it's bringing every prices high and all that. Do you really think it's always because of that? It could be because of businesses and stuff like that. And I talked about it a little bit in this podcast recently, a little bit earlier. But, you know, saying that stuff, that's just because I'm just reporting back to what everybody else has been negatively saying. And I try to bring a positive spin on it, sort of. And I think things could be better, sure, but times have changed, sure. And I don't think I know where I'm going with this, but all I can say is things are what they are, and I think the way that the world is heading, it wouldn't have happened any other way, any differently between anybody else or any other thing. I think the way that the game industry has been going has been in the sharp decline because the gaming industry is getting too big and too expensive for its own good. And we will talk about that in a little bit. But with the whole reporting thing in news industries, it's a shame that the people at GiantBomb couldn't keep GiantBomb, or try to buy it from fandom or whatever. I'm surprised Gersman and all that couldn't try to like repurchase it and from them or whatever, or just start something new together and just go get away from that and just start something special all together in one thing. I know it's because of money, and I know it's because everybody there, can't afford to just rebuild a site and redo all that stuff. I know it takes time and money and stuff. I wouldn't say that much time and money because, as you can tell, I have a website. I do all this podcast stuff by myself. It's not the best of the best, but I think it's quite decent what I do, and I do it, and it doesn't cost that much money, at least for me. And if people did it more like what I do, they can eventually save up and afford better tech and gear and websites and stuff. But I can't say it's because it's too much cost. I know it's the cost of living, because a lot of these people live in expensive places. Some people don't, but most people do. And I know they need to support a family, or they got a house payment or something. And I understand that. But you would think there would have been another way. I would have hoped that they would have maybe come together some other way. Maybe that dream might come true someday. Maybe most of these guys will come together. I would love for like a family reunion where all the GiantBomb people come together for like one event or something, especially when GiantBomb eventually crumbles and falls and fandom crumbles and falls and stuff or whatever. And I would hope that all these guys would come together for at least one time in an event and all come together, talk about stuff, speak together, do a podcast or whatever together. Everybody, Gersman, the Nextlander people, Grubb, Mike Minotti, Jeff Grubb, Dan Riker, everybody just come together, talk about stuff, talk about the way they were doing before and talk about what they're doing now. I would like that someday. I would really like that. Jan comes in, does the whole board and goes, oh boy, I got to set up a lot of microphones and camera gear, but I would hope that would happen someday. I would definitely would like to see something like that someday. Will it happen? I don't know. It's all up to them to do. But frankly, GiantBomb's no more. End of a new era. Makes me a little sad, especially because there's one less gaming podcast out there to listen to. I can listen to myself, but I don't want to listen to myself all the time. That's annoying. And there's very few podcasts left that I like to listen to about video games and stuff out there. And I will try to keep doing what I do. And I hope people discover me, listen to my bullshit and stuff, and enjoy what I say about video games and stuff, and watch my videos and all that, because I will try to keep doing that stuff. I like I said, I want to keep doing this stuff until I die, or if the internet goes down, or if YouTube and all that goes away. I want to continue to keep doing this until I can't do it anymore, until there's some reason that I can't physically, mentally, or something that's out of my control reason that I can't do gaming videos, podcasts, or anything else anymore. That's the only way I can't do it. Otherwise, I want to do this forever. I will never work for a company like what they do. I will never do what they do. I don't think I'm good enough to do what they do. I do it from, like I said, out of my own self and soul. I know it's a little egotistical and a little ignorant of me to say, but I do this for me. I do this for me first. And then I do it for you guys. Because like I said, everything I do is free. Everything I do for me. It's my therapy. I don't go to a therapist. This is my therapy. My crazy, stupid therapy that I like doing. And then I try to bring you guys content and fun. And it's a great hobby to do. And I know I've been jumping around a lot. And I know you're probably like, okay, Michael, what does this have to do with GiantBomb and Polygon and all that shit? Let's keep talking about them. Well, I'm ending it right here. I wish everybody the best at both Polygon. I hope they get whatever they can get out there. I wish all the people the best at GiantBomb, at least most of them. A couple of them, maybe not so much. Sorry, that's just what I think. But most of them, I wish you all best of luck. I hope to hear and see you guys again somewhere, someday, somehow. And sure, like I said, you could support them on all the services, but there's so many people wanting support. There's so many people wanting you to go to their Patreons and subscriptions, this and that. I don't think people are willing to do that. There's a lot of people that are and will, but there's a majority of people that will not and cannot, out there. So I don't know how much longer people can live on donations and stuff. That's why, like I said, when I started doing this stuff a long time ago, I knew I wasn't going to make a dime. Not an advertisement, not this, not that. That's why I don't do advertisements. That's why I don't try to beg for money. Like I said, if I do a Patreon, I'll do one. And it's only going to be like little bits of money that I would ask for, just to put back into the system, put back into like games and whatnot, because that's all I do it for. But otherwise, it wouldn't be for me to make a living. It wouldn't be for that. It'd just be me having some fun and having you guys enjoy some extra fun and stuff. But like I said, I haven't said or done anything with that yet. Let's see here. I gotta see if I have any other talks about that. I don't think so. Okay. So we're going to get off this sad subject. So rest in peace, GiantBomb. I miss you already. And if it fully goes away and, and everything lapses, or if something happens behind the scenes and somebody else purchases GiantBomb, or everybody, maybe if they all chip in and purchase GiantBomb and get all the content, maybe rebuild it from the ground up again. I don't know. It could be possible. I don't know. It depends on what they would want to do. Or maybe it's just it's time to die. Maybe it's time for GiantBomb to go away for good. It's hard to say that, but maybe that's what has to be done. I do not wish that, but that could be what it can be. So yes, leave a gaming media hole of sadness in my heart. That's what I put in my show notes. It does, because that's two giant websites that I loved gone away amongst a sea of other dead sites that I liked and other people that I liked, and it's just sad. It's sad times, and my heart will be broken for that stuff. Now for other big news, giant news, we got a new trailer for GTA 6. How'd you like it? I thought it was pretty damn ass cool. I'll be talking more about that in the news section. But also in the big news, GTA 6 has also been pushed back to 2026. So how do you feel about that? I know a lot of people are probably... I heard some saying that they weren't surprised. A lot of people said they weren't surprised by that. I pretty much was kind of on going, okay, cool. Let it be pushed back one more time. I do not mind, and it's more of a selfishness to me. But I kind of figured, okay, push it back. If whatever you got to do to it, do to it. I heard rumors stating, because this wasn't official, but I heard rumors I think it was when I was listening to a gaming podcast or something, or it could have been something online. But I heard a rumor that they pushed it back another, what was it, extra 6 months or whatever it is that they're getting. I think it wasn't because the game wasn't done. I think the main story and game is done, and that they were finishing up polishing and stuff. But I think they were working, what I hear, rumor-wise, because we haven't heard nothing about this. We didn't even know that they were apparently going to do this right away, but I had a feeling this was the case. I hear that the online, GTA Online portion for GTA 6, because I'm thinking this is going to be the new GTA Online. I think they're going to take... Or try, I don't know what they're going to do. Because they got the GTA Online for the GTA 5 part. But with this new GTA Online, I think it's going to take over and take out the old GTA Online, because they're making it better and whatever. And they want to make it bigger and better. That's why they make the whole map bigger and more room and more stuff, because they want it bigger and better. They want it really a gigantic area for people to play in. I heard rumors that they're working harder on that GTA Online part, because they don't want it super broken like it was in GTA 5 when they put out GTA Online and GTA 5. You remember those early days? I remember those early days. I was trying to get on GTA Online back in the day when they first started, and that servers were broken. They were busted to the max, people. Holy shit, was that all a busted piece of mess. But eventually it worked, and eventually I was able to get in there, have some stupid fun, and it was a grand old time. And then, over time, it was like, okay, I'm done with GTA Online. But a lot of people stayed, and a lot of people paid a lot of money to stay in GTA Online, buying shark cards, leveling up, becoming wealthy entrepreneurs. And I'm thinking, well, I'm done, because then they added too much stuff, and then it got really janky and junky, and I don't do GTA Online anymore. But with GTA 6, it's a whole fresh paint and a whole new job. So I'm thinking, and this is, like I said, the rumors that they're working hard to get GTA Online for GTA 6 so good that when they start it up, that it'll be the whole fresh new paint, and it'll be working because they want it, because they want that extra money. And if that's the thing, okay, I fully understand it. You want that product to work with GTA 6 so you can have it all working, and you said the story's done and it's all they did all the polishing and stuff, and the bug works. So I hope it's going to be pretty damn perfect when it comes out in 6 months. But I don't know. I don't know what to expect from it. But like I said, I don't really care. I have so many games in my backlog. I have so many games I'm playing now. I'm playing GTA 5 again very slowly on my Rog Ally, which it works perfectly well on my Rog Ally. I love playing GTA 5 on my Rog Ally. I tell you, folks, that's a place to play GTA 5, because, like I said, I didn't want that shitty software on my desktop, because all that back-end Rockstar security software bullshit I don't trust on my big main machine. But on my Rog Ally, which is just for gaming, I don't give a care. That's the place to have it on, and it plays very, very good. It looks very good. Everything's on like high and ultra on my Rog Ally. And I only got the Extreme, the Z1 Extreme edition. I don't got the X. I don't got the Rog Ally X, if anybody's wondering. I got the original Rog Ally Extreme with the Z1 chip, not the basic one, but the Z1 Extreme, the good one. And that runs that perfectly fine. I'm sure the X runs it even better. And I'm sure this future Xbox Rog Ally that I'm going to be talking about in a little bit, and that they're probably going to talk about at Computex, I guess, and hopefully probably at the Xbox Showcase even more. They said it's supposed to come out in June now. I'm hearing rumors it's supposed to come out in June. I'm pretty sure that's going to run this shit even better. But yeah, I like playing GTA 5. And now I get to play through it one more time, and then next year I could go, okay, now I can play GTA 6, But yes, push to 2026. I'm not too hurt about it. Like I said, there's other games coming out. There's Doom coming out pretty soon, Doom the Dark Ages. There's more games coming out in the near future. I'm sure all you people that are going to be ready to play Nintendo games are happy about that, because you're like, oh, we want to play Nintendo games, not GTA. And then there's stuff coming out all the way to the fall. Yeah, so there's stuff coming out that, you got the Borderlands game coming out in September and stuff like that. So people got a lot of time to play other games, and then GTA 6 will come out next year in May, and then everybody will be like, all over again. You'll hear the screams of terror from the industry all over again, because they're like, no, GTA 6 is coming out now. We can't do anything. We can't put any of our games out. Excuse me, folks. I'm going to take a drink of my orangey juice here for my throat. Keep my throat good. But yes, GTA 6 been pushed back to 2026. I'm not surprised by that, especially when we all talked about the lack of them talking about anything about it. At least we got a second trailer. The trailer looks great. I think it's a pretty good trailer. I got to see Lucille again. They talk about a lot of butts in GTA 6, showing a lot of butts in the GTA 6 trailer. Yes, there's a lot of butts. And Lucia, she seems like a badass kind of a chick that I would love to be with, even though she's bad. Bad to the bone. But, yeah, anyways, yeah, it looks good. What I see of it, it looks like something I'm going to have a lot of fun in the story mode. And like I said, I will probably get into the GTA 6 online. I'll try that out, try to have me some fun. And because I tried all the onlines, I tried the Red Dead Redemption online, and I found out that was boring as shit. Hence why it's dead now, practically. Like I said, GTA Online was fun up to a point before they overcrowded my screen with tons of bullshit, and everything was like bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, and I'm like, too much shit in my GTA Online. My pager phone was going off too much. I was like, no. But the new one, I wonder how many of my friends will be able to join me with the new one. I don't know. Maybe not a lot of friends, especially when I got to talk about other stuff. So, yes, GTA 6 pushed to 2026. Okay, so we're pretty much going to get into the games news section now, even though this is something I'm going to be talking about separately about the Xbox Rog Ally peaks and sneaks, and that it's almost going to be officially unveiled not too long from now. But might as well get just right into the Games Talk News here. So why don't we get into the Games Talk News? If I can get the right stuff going on here. Well, we also got Borderlands talk. So we're going to get into the Games Talk News right now. Well, actually, hold off. We'll hold off on that. Hold on. Hold up. Where is this? Where is it? Yeah, let me do that. Rewind. I forgot about talking about the games that I played in the past week. So let's get into that first. This we can run through quickly because it's not something that that needs much explaining for most of these games. So let's get into the games I played first, and then we'll get right into the Games Talk News.
The games that have been played in the past week.
I completely almost forgot about that stuff. Okay, go figure. Well, because I put it down my show notes list now, because the reason I put the games that I played in the past weeks down my show notes is because when the podcasts go up, what you first see in the show notes and the show sections or whatever, the description, you see whatever is the first of that. So all that people usually see is the games that I played in the past weeks, but they don't see what I'm going to talk about first. So I want the stuff that I'm talking about first up higher, and then I put the games so it kind of screws me up a little bit now that I did that, but I'll get used to it. So like I said, games that I played in the past weeks: GTA 5, only the story, not online. I'm a Rog Ally. Like I said, it looks great, plays great. I'm back in it with Trevor, Michael, and Franklin, even though I don't really care about Franklin too much. I'm sorry, it's not because he's black or anything, folks. It's just his character was not really fleshed out that much. He's kind of boring, and they could have made him like CJ. They could have made him better. CJ was fun. He's great in San Andreas, but Franklin, I think they missed out heavily on Franklin. I hope these new 2 Latino characters are better. Is the guy Latino, or is it just Lucia is Latina? I forgot. I got to look at the guy again. He might be Latina, but I hope these characters are more fleshed out than previous. But like I said, Michael and Trevor, they were the best mostly of that. Getting into it, playing some of these mission scenarios and going, oh, I remember this. I remember I did more poorly last time, and I'm trying to do stuff differently in a lot of my missions as well, because you could do different things in your missions, especially your heists and stuff missions. I'm trying to do different stuff in those so I can just, try it out a little bit differently, because I already played GTA 5 like 3+ times already in the past years. So yes, this is like another time, like I said, because I get fresh new achievements, and it's just I like the story, and it's less broken so far, at least so far that I'm playing it. We'll see when I get through the game more. Maybe it'll be more broken, but it seems less broken for this enhanced version, as they call it, of GTA 5. But I've been playing on my Rog Ally. It's great to have GTA on the go. I can't specify how much I love having to be able to play Grand Theft Auto 5 or any Grand Theft Autos anytime I want on the go, being able to play them portably. And then I'll be able to play when I get my awning up outside in the front of my deck porch. I'll be able to lay on my deck, porch, couch, play GTA 5, especially when I'm on vacation, and just sit outside in the sun. Well, not in the sun directly, but I'll have the thing, but play GTA 5, have some fun. Oh my god, it's going to be fun. But yeah, that I'm excited about that stuff. That's GTA 5 has been fun. Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I might try putting this back on my... And I wonder if I spelled obscure wrong, or is that just how the game is spelled? Because it's giving me the thing. Let me see here. Did I spell it wrong? Obscure. Okay. Let's see here. OBSCUR. Oh, that's how. OBSC. Okay, OBUR. Okay. No, I'm just looking at because it looks obscure to me. As I'm looking at the name Obscure, it's obscure to me that I'm looking at it. I'm like, wait, I had to spell it right. Okay. I know my spelling ain't the best, but shit. I know I spelled that correctly. Because Clair Obscur Expedition 33, it is basically the French Final Fantasy that was created. It came out the same week as the Elder Scrolls Oblivion remaster. I've been dabbling on and off with this a little bit. I'm still not 100% liking the game, but because there's still a lot of things that just irk me about the game, and there's a lot of things that I can't do that it seems like it holds me back, and a lot of the stuff with the live blocking where I'm gotta hit the left, not the trigger, but the bumper, the right bumper and stuff to block, and I feel like I can't get that timing down for when the enemies come at you all the time, and to block it and hit back at it. It's really annoying to me, and the story still isn't like really catching me too much, but I've been jumping in and out of it. I had it on my Rog Ally. It was playing great on the Rog Ally, but it was hard for me to do gameplay. I'm going to try to maybe put it back on a Rog Ally and see if I can play it more there than on my PC. I don't know yet. We'll see. But I've been playing on my PC most lately, and I've been okay at it. I've been getting farther into it, and some stuff of it's pretty fun, but otherwise I don't like the live blocking. I think they should have made it a little bit easier, a little bit better for me. I am playing in story mode, but it still seems like I'm just like could have been a little bit better at that. Otherwise, I've been trying to figure out how do I get points to use any of my skills. I can't use any of my skills because I got no points to use any of my skills ever. I got nothing's charged to use any of my skills, and it's just frustrating because then eventually when I'm in a battle, I do get some points, but then for some reason they go and they get lost and they're gone, and I'm like, wait, I never used any of them, so why are they gone all of a sudden? It's a frustrating game. And like I said, I'm glad it's free. I'm glad it's on Game Pass, because if it wasn't, it was a paid game, just a paid game. I know a lot of people did buy this game, but I think I would have never bought it. I would have been like, no. Or if I would have bought it, I might have been a little perturbed by it and not played it. But thank God it's on Game Pass, because then if I do just jump off of it rightly and say, I won't feel sad about it. Especially because I got Oblivion to play as well, which who knows when I'll start up playing Oblivion some more. But I don't know. So I played a little bit of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Like I said, it looks beautiful. It runs beautifully, especially on the Rog Ally. I got to always say that too. Even though the settings are down on the Rog Ally, but it still looks and plays beautifully on there. It's just me not knowing how to block at the live blocking. But on the PC, of course, it looks beautiful and it plays beautifully well on the PC as well. But just not probably a game for me. Maybe because it's not Japanese and it's more French. And like I said, the story isn't really catching me yet. There's people that say that the story's capturing them, but for me, I'm like, it's missing stuff. It's missing stuff. I don't know what to say more about that. Been playing a lot of Tetris forever. Been doing a lot of Tetrising. on my Xbox Series X. I went and did the whole Tetris Forever documentary. I watched and did the whole documentary thing, the whole look behind the scenes thing and stuff. That was quite interesting. I was quite intrigued by that, and I've been playing a lot of Tetris Forever as well, and trying out the other old Tetris games, and knowing that a lot of them were hot garbage and stuff, but enjoying some Tetris in my life. I like Tetris. Tetris is truly the perfect game, the forever game, as they would say. And yes, I'd believe that entirely. That's all I got to say on it. Tetris Forever, folks. Been playing on my Series X. And then I played, and I have just beaten on Friday, LolliPop Chainsaw RePop. I just beat it yesterday because I'm recording this on Saturday, this podcast, because I got stuff to do outside today and tomorrow probably. Played a lot of LolliPop Chainsaw RePop, beat it. Fun game. Played it on streamer mode, so I wasn't getting the other music out of it, unfortunately, but still had fun with the basic generic music that they were playing throughout the game. And a lot of stuff I forgot about in the game, and it seemed like the game was missing stuff. I don't know if it was just me, but it seemed like it was missing stuff, because I remember other stuff in the game that it seemed like was missing. There was some stuff that I did remember that was in the game that was still in the game, but there was still stuff that I've like, wait, what happened all about that? And the final boss battle seemed like it was missing something. I don't know what. And then I missed saving 3 people, and I don't remember how I missed rescuing 3 people in the game too. So I don't know, folks. It was a good game though. Playing Juliet, and I made her I had her final act in the live stream as in a stringy bikini and stuff, and she showed basically all of herself, and she was running around barefoot in a white little bikini with little, what do you call them, the little seashells on her boobies and stuff like that. And I finished it off like that, and I'm like, yep, you could get pretty dirty in this game. Before I had her as in a schoolgirl outfit, I'm like, yep, that's what this whole game was about. And it was a good story. It's a fun story. It's stupid as hell. And I'm like, how come they haven't made a sequel to this yet? Why is there no sequel to this game? I hope they make a LolliPop Chainsaw sequel. I don't know if they have to have James Gunn to come back to help write it, because I think he helped write the original LolliPop Chainsaw game. He was the writer of it. I wonder if they could get him back or whatnot. I know he's working for Warner Brothers and he's doing all the Warner Brothers shit, but do they really need him for that? Could he work on it on the side? I don't know. But I would like to see a LolliPop Chainsaw sequel. That would be pretty funny. I think we could use something like that and make it a cheaper budgeted game, like a $40, $50 game. I hate to say $50 a budget game, but $40, $50 budget game, that'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see that. Wouldn't you? But those were the games that I played. I did play some solitaire and some stuff, but I didn't put it on here because it's just solitaire. It's a game, but it's just solitaire. But yeah, because next week it's going to be a lot of dooming. Yeah, it's going to be Doom the Dark Ages on Thursday when I do my first gameplay. And Friday, I'm planning on doing my GameOn session with playing more Doom the Dark Ages. Because why not? Because I know I'm going to have a ball of a time on Thursday playing that. And then Friday, I'm going to definitely have a lot of fun playing Doom the Dark Ages. It's going to be interesting on Friday because I don't think I'm going to be able to make my title sequence. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see how much time I got on Thursday when I do the first gameplay of it after I get back home from work. Because I got to come home from work first. I got to shower, eat. Then I get to, I have to relax a little bit. Then I get to play the game. And then after I do the first gameplay playthrough for 2 or 3 hours, then I edit it, post it up. Then I got to do a secondary edit of the video or whatever to put into my first into my GameOn session, which by the way, maybe I do have something ready for that. I gotta check. I forgot what I did and what I didn't do, but maybe I did do something with a GameOn for Doom the Dark Ages for a starter already. Because I know me, and sometimes I like to do stuff ahead of time, and I got some B-roll footage of Doom the Dark Ages playthrough, so maybe I did already make that. If that's the case, then, oh shit, game on, I'll be having that cool starter right at the beginning. That'll take a lot of load off my time. Anyways, that's what's going to be me doing. A lot of dooming. I'm excited for Doom the Dark Ages. It looks like it's going to be bringing back all the fun of Doom 2016, but even more, limiting that stupid, platforming bullshit, and just going back to the nitty-gritty fun that we all want from our Doom games. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Okay, now we can get into the games news. That is the games news of the show, finally.
Ready for the fight, Game Talk Newz, gonna set the stage alight. Mr. Mike's got the scoop, he ain't holding back, dropping bombs on the gaming industry track. Hear the thunder, feel the roar. Game Talk Newz gonna settle the score. From E3 to PAX, they got it all. The highs and lows, ready to brawl.
That's enough of that. Okay, so the Games Talk News. We're going to start off by kicking it off with some Borderlands 4 talk. So we talked recently just about how GTA 6 Online, or GTA 6 in general, not just online, is being pushed back to back to 2026. But before that, when everybody was speculating, or they were speculating about how either GTA 6 was going to come out the same time or later, when Randy Pitchford and Gearbox announced that Borderlands 4 launch was brought forward by 11 days, people were wondering, well, what's that mean for GTA 6's release? So Borderlands 4 was originally due out in September 23rd, but now it's going to release on September 12th across PC, PlayStation, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch 2. In a video, Pitchford stated everything is going great. Actually, in fact, everything is going kind of best case scenario. The game is awesome. The team is cooking. And so the launch date for Borderlands 4 is changing. We're moving it forward. The launch date is now September 12th. And then he said, what? This never happens, you guys. This never happens. We're moving the launch date forward. You're going to get Borderlands 4 earlier. I'm excited about Borderlands 4. I probably won't play Borderlands 4 for a little while. I still got Borderlands 3 I could play because it's on Game Pass right now, but eventually I'll want to play Borderlands 4. I'm interested in it, but also it was like, oh, then what's that mean for Grand Theft Auto? Because everybody was thinking, oh, is Grand Theft Auto coming in September? And I'm like, I'm thinking, well, if that's coming out now in September, if they're going to bump it back a little bit or forward a little bit because they want to get it out earlier, maybe GTA would be in November. And then you got the announcement right after that when they said, oh, GTA 6 will be pushed back to 2026. And that's what happened there. And that's the end of that story. So, getting GTA 6 next year, getting Borderlands 4 11 days early. Yay, look, more games. A lot of games coming up. A lot of stuff coming out. Other news, Gears of War Reloaded has been announced and is coming in the summer, even on PlayStation, which we all knew. I can't say unfortunately anymore because I'm definitely seeing Microsoft just going to be publisher, number one. Hardware, not even in the care of Microsoft. Microsoft's getting out of most hardware, except for Surfaces, because they're still doing more Surfaces and stuff. But Xbox-wise and stuff, more so, they're trying to limit themselves. And I'll talk more about that in a moment. But besides the ROG, their handheld dreams of making their own Xbox handheld, and the partnership that they're doing with Asus with the Xbox Rog Ally, basically they're not caring too much about their hardware. So they're like, hey, Sony isn't putting out any games for their PlayStation fans and fanboys and stuff. We all knew that. Sony is not giving you guys anything. I kept saying that for a long time, of my hate of Sony treating you guys, you PlayStation fanboys and girls, poorly, even though you hate Xbox all the time, you hate on us, but still, you guys aren't getting anything. They're selling these PlayStation 5s. They're trying to make you buy a PlayStation 5 Pro and all that. And you guys are getting jacked to shit except for remasters, remakes, this and that. And now Microsoft's like, let's take advantage of that situation. If Sony isn't bringing their A games, let's bring our A games. Shit, let's bring our B, C, D. We'll remaster stuff. We'll put it out there. And guess what? They're getting a new Gears of War. They got a new Forza Horizon went on PlayStation. They got the Oblivion game. They're probably gonna get the new Gears of War game when that comes out. They're gonna get Doom, the Dark Ages. They're gonna eventually get maybe Halo. I know that's probably the staple that we do not want to cross as Xbox fans, but even me as an Xbox fan, I'm like, okay, if Microsoft is going full on this and they're making money, that means it's better for us as gamers, because that means they'll put more money into more games and more of their big publishing studios, because they own a lot of studios. That means more stuff is going to come out, and that just means better for people like me that are Game Pass subscribers, because that means I get to play more games and have more games to play with. You know, that's not a bad thing. I'm not strictly stapled to my Xbox Series X, even though I have one, and that, like I said, that might be my final console going forward, especially if the Nintendo Switch 2 is not going to be coming back for a while. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not too caring, but most likely I'll be playing most 99% of my gaming will be done on the PC or the ROG Ally. Going forward, there'll be a few titles that I use the Xbox Series X for, but you know, mostly it's gonna be PC and X and my ROG Ally. It's like, why not? Microsoft, why not? Like I said, they got my Xbox blessing as an Xbox fanboy. I can't keep fighting that fight anymore. I know they're not winning in the hardware aspects and stuff like that. People just everywhere else don't want that stuff. They don't want their hardware. So I guess if they can sell them the software, they're going to sell them the software, even at $80 fucking. So it's going to suck for that. But that's in more news. But yeah, so you guys get Gears of War finally. Originally, you guys were going to get Gears of War on the PlayStation 3, but that got quickly canceled when Microsoft bought this franchise to keep it exclusively, because back when they were trying to keep exclusives, they made that exclusively as an Xbox game, and then now you get to have it when it's all polished and remastered and 4K'd and everything else. You're getting 4K resolution, 60 frames per second in campaign, 120 frames in multiplayer, high dynamic range HDR, Dolby Vision, and 7.1.4 Dolby Atmos, 7.1.4 3D spatial audio, variable refresh rates, 4K assets and remastering textures, enhanced post-processing visual effects, improved shadows and reflections, super resolution with improved anti-aliasing, 0 loading screens during campaign. Whew. Getting all the stuff that was never in the original Gears of War. Oh, and also there's an extra what do you call it? There's an extra I'm trying to think of it. What's it called? Episode in the campaign, right? I'm looking for where it says that, so I know exactly that it said that. So I'm not just thinking of it and just telling you guys something that did. Let's just say here, okay, I'm just going to read this. So Microsoft announced Gears of War Reloaded, a remaster of the original 2006 game that will launch on this August 26th on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. The shiny new version will come with improved visuals and audio crossplay and cross progression, and all the DLC from the Gears of War Ultimate Edition. So all the DLC as well. As we approach the 20th anniversary of Gears of War 2026, we're reflecting on what makes the franchise means. It also is about the stories we told and the friendships we built and the unforgettable moments we've shared together. With Gears of War Reloaded, we're opening up the door to more players than ever, says Mike Crump, studio head of the Coalition. Not only do PlayStation owners get to play the game, and love can be shared across the console barricades. I wonder if they'll put this on the Nintendo Switch 2. That'd be interesting if Gears of War went on the Nintendo Switch 2. The Switch 2 gets into Gears of War. That'd be pretty cool. I bet they can do it. Gears of War Reloaded is built for shared play, whether you're teaming up in split screen or jumping online. The campaign supports 2-player co-op and versus multiplayer. That was another fun thing because I used to play this with my friend. I played all the Gears of War games, played all the Halo games with him, co-op and stuff. That was always fun. And versus multiplayer, up to 8 players with cross-play across platforms, and your friends can squad up no matter where you play. No Microsoft account required, unless if you want to go from PlayStation to Xbox or PlayStation to PC. Then you need to, I think, you're going to need a Microsoft account. Because I think it's weird because, okay, here, it says it right here, and I should have kept reading, but I didn't. However, signing in with a Microsoft account unlocks full cross-platform functionality and enables cross-progression, so your campaign and multiplayer progress carries across devices. It also allows you to send invites and play with friends across platforms like Xbox to PlayStation or Steam to Xbox. So basically, if you do use an Xbox, if you do get and sign into an Xbox account, you get to unlock all the rest of the stuff that it does. So there is cross-platform functionality, but it's limited. But if you do a Microsoft account, because they don't want to be a Sony and lock you into getting a Microsoft account to do that stuff, they're like, hey, you could do it in basic terms, or if you want the full functionality of it, here you go. You got to sign up with Microsoft, which who gives a care? I know all the people out there that complain and whine, oh, I got to get an account with this and the Microsoft account and the PlayStation account. I'm like, yeah, well, you got to do it for all the other games out there. And I do it. I had to do it for Rockstar. I did have a Rockstar account, but I had to like re-get it again because something, my password, whatever. I redid it. I had to do that. That's an unfortunate thing, but you know, the problem is I wish they made it easier to do these account makings, which it kind of is if you do the Google method and you just say, hey, have Google sign in and everything. But and I know Microsoft, but I don't know. I use a Microsoft account. If you want achievements, get a Microsoft account. Plus, don't forget, PlayStation people, you can if you buy these Microsoft games, technically you can earn Xbox achievements and stuff if you sign into your Microsoft accounts. And two, and I don't know this fully, don't forget, you get a Microsoft account, you could get those Microsoft points. And if you do the Microsoft points thing, you can earn points to get like gift cards, which you can use to buy more games. That means even PlayStation games, because you can get like money back and gift cards to Amazon or something or whatnot. And you can purchase those games for your PlayStations. There you go, or peripherals or whatever. So getting into the whole Microsoft ecosystem within a Microsoft account might actually help you. It helps me save some money. Like I said, I'm still doing a Microsoft rewards thing, even though the rewards points issuing has been going up and down lately, especially now. It's been a little down in certain areas, but I'm still earning them, and I'm still almost up. I'm almost at my next $50 gift card, which I'm probably used for some Xbox game or something, but or I can use it and get an Amazon gift card and use it on an Amazon purchase, but shit. It's not, at least they offer something, you know. Until they don't offer anything, I do not mind having it. And plus, I use Windows. If you're using Windows, you need a Microsoft account. You know, what more can I say on that? You need a Microsoft account. So, yeah, and I'm trying to look here because I know there was something. Was it in this news story? Let's see here. Also, if you purchased a digital copy of Gears of War Ultimate Edition prior to the 5th of May of 2025, you will get a free upgrade code to the owners of that digital copy. I got it on just Game Pass, so I don't get a code. And plus, I got Game Pass, so I'll get the new update anyways. Okay, so it was on XboxAchievements.com that was saying this. So you get all that, like I said, all the DLC and post-launch DLC for free. This also includes a bonus campaign act and all multiplayer maps and modes. So I guess there's a bonus campaign act coming. I don't know what it is. The only thing I wonder about this new Gears of War upgrade, remaster, whatever you want to call it, I do not know if I get new achievements. I would think so. What they're saying, what I'm hearing them say is that this is going to be a separate game going up. This ain't going to be Gears of War Ultimate Edition. This is going to be a new Gears of War game. If that's the case, and it's not just a pure upgrade from that Gears of War, which I think it isn't. I think it's just a brand new game that they're putting on the store, and you're going to see 3 different types of Gears of War games on there. It's all going to be Gears of War 1, but it's going to be, do you want to play the old school one? Do you want to play the updated one? Or do you want to play the enhanced one, the latest one? I'm hoping it's all new achievements because that will get me back into playing Gears of War again for a 15th time, maybe 16th, when I played the original Gears of War game, and that's not including jumping online. Yes, I played that campaign many times. I know the campaign by heart, most of it. And if there is a new thing in there, a new campaign act, that'll be cool too. But yeah, I will play it again if I can get new fresh achievos for it. I will play it on my Rog Ally, just like I did the last one. Anywho, Gears of War, folks, coming everywhere. PlayStation fanboys, I know you hate the Xbox and stuff, but shit, you're going to get some good games coming. Finally. Still going to be $80+. Do I have that on here? I think I have this. Do I have this down on here? I'm pretty sure. Yes, okay. I got it on here because I was like, I jumped around. I did the show notes weird, so not everything is in order. But we'll talk about that on the price hikes that Microsoft's now doing, which I'm kind of disappointed in them from doing because they could have taken advantage of all these other price hikes that's been going around the world, and they could have just stood firm. But I guess, corporations and shareholders is not going to stop them from doing it too. But we're going to talk about some handheld leaks of the new Project Keenan, about the Xbox Asus Rog Ally, or Asus Rog Ally 2 prototype, which now the FCC was sharing photos of because, good old governments know how to spoil everything for companies and show off everything that they shouldn't be showing off, and everything leaks, and it's great. I love the government. I love our government. I love everybody's government because they just leak and show off everything, all the goodies. And they're showing off the new, what they say is the prototype, early specs of the new ROG Ally, which I am calling it the Xbox ROG Ally, because why wouldn't they not call it the Xbox ROG Ally? I would fully think they're going to put Xbox ROG Ally on this because it's going to be the Xbox ROG Ally edition. They would be, Microsoft and Asus would be stupid to not call it the Xbox ROG Ally. Because that's perfect. It just rolls off the tongue, folks. I got the Xbox ROG Ally. You cannot not say that. You can, of course, they can say it's called the ROG Ally 2, but you calling it the Xbox ROG Ally, not only are you getting the brand recognition from Microsoft, and the Xbox is a brand name, but you're getting your ROG Ally in there, and people are like, oh, ROG Ally, okay, that's what that device is. You're getting both those names out there. Will they do that? They'll probably fuck it up and just call it the ROG Ally 2 or something like that, and that it's Xbox enhanced or something. There's somebody in the stupid, what should I say, the advertising part of the companies that don't know fucking shit about how to do their jobs correctly. And because advertisers and promoters really are stupid as shit. They can have the easiest things in front of their eyes and they're like, oh, we'll just do it this way. I see it all the time, but if they call it the Xbox Rog Ally, I will scream it and cream in my pants, folks. If they actually call this device the Xbox Rog Ally, I will cream my fucking pants. You just take... You won't know how I cream my pants. You'll just know I cream my pants because I'll just say I cream my pants, folks. And that's all you're going to know. You don't know, not going to know which way I cream the pants, but you'll know I cream the pants. Anyways, our good old FCC just inadvertently leaked Xbox's partners handheld, the Asus, known for Project Keenan. They're showing off the new handheld. It's actually got... And I'm going to bring this up as a show point. So you got the Xbox controller, right? And if you look at the ROG Ally, which I should have brought my ROG Ally in here, but I don't. You know what it looks like. It's that ovalish, roundish, ovalish kind of thing. It's got the look to it. Well, now it's going to still have that look and design as a ROG Ally or one of the other devices that all look the same, just like a ROG Ally, even though Asus brought it out first. And then you got... the Steam Deck that looks like the Steam Deck, but it's going to have these little handles on the sides now on top of the ROG Ally design. And it's going to come in a little bit. It's going to merge in a little bit. I should show this. Let's see here. Can I copy this? Hold on, folks. I'm trying to do something here. Let's see if I can do this. And this is going to be for you... Let's see how this goes. Give me 1 second. 1 second, folks. Hopefully I'm still recording this. Hopefully everything's still going good. Yeah, we're going to save this. Let's save this to desktop. I don't give a care what it's called. Hold on 1 second, folks. I'm going to pop this in here. There we go. So people watching this live, here we go. This is the Xbox Rog Ally. As you can tell, it's got the nice little Xbox controller handles and such there. And it's got the, its design and stuff. It looks pretty cool. It looks just like my regular Xbox Rog Ally. Same looks, screen, same everything else. It has all the things. Has the new, where eventually it's going to be the Xbox logo right here because this button wasn't here before. So this is where the new Xbox logo button is going to be. They just got it looking like that, but they're going to put the Xbox logo on that. But everything else is still the same. They got more heat vents here. They never had these here too much. At least not that. Maybe they were there. I just never seen them. But it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty badass. It looks like it's going to be a lot more easy to hold, handhold and stuff. They still got the back trigger buttons and stuff like that on the back. I got more pictures here, but I'm not going to take them off the thing. But they got more of that stuff on there. Let me put this up here for now, folks. I'm doing some editing as I'm doing this show. And it has like the bumper buttons on the back of the thing. So you got plenty of clicky buttons everywhere on the ROG. And they got a white one and they got a black one they're showing here. There's going to be 2 different models, I guess. As they're talking about the grips. Yeah, Xbox influence, notably in the grips, and should come with a deeper Xbox integration over the Asus ROG Ally counterpart. So they're going to have more Xbox in the Xbox ROG Ally. It also has more USB-C ports on the top, I'm seeing. I'm seeing multiple USB-C ports. I'm also seeing maybe, I don't know for sure, on the top of this Asus ROG Ally here, I'm looking at the prototype here, it looks like an HDMI port. They might have a HDMI mini port on top here on the other side next to the headphone jack port because you could plug in your headphone jacks. And I think I could do that on my ROG Ally now with the headphone jack. I don't know. I never use headphone jacks on my ROG Ally. I use Bluetooth, but I never used the headphone jack. I think it has a headphone jack. Hold on 1 second, folks. Be right back. Sorry about that, folks. You didn't notice the thing because I paused this show, and I don't do this live, but I brought my ROG Ally, and I had to. So, as you can tell, a bit different. So, because this ROG Ally, and I know it's blurring out because it's the good old good old green screen effect. But notice that this has this. It does have the air vents in the front, but it has these. But these are going to go away, so it's going to have the nice handles. So this is nice to hold and everything. But as you look at the Xbox Rog Ally on the top of the screen, if you're watching the show and not just listening, it's more roundish. It's more not rectangular, but octangular. What do you call that with the roundness? But it's more ergonomic where you can hold it. So it's nice to hold this, but it's going to be a lot better to hold that. With the grips on stuff, I'll be able to grip better on the new one. So it'll be easier. And the top is going to be more like cut in a little bit or rounded in a little bit on the top, so that it'll be easier to put my hands and do my clicky motion with the top. That's cool. And like I said, the top, they have the headphone jack. They moved it over, as I can see on this picture. You can't see it. It's going to still have the volume button. That looks like it's on the other side as well. The power button looks like it's on the same side. And like I said, it's going to have like an HDMI port. It might also have that micro SD card slot up there. That's one of those things might be. Let me see here. I'm just looking at it. It's hard to see in the picture, but maybe there's a micro SD card slot, or else it's going to be on the bottom of the unit. I don't think the other one does not show it, but yeah, I think there's going to be, because it's not saying here too much about that stuff, but it looks like they got 2 USB-C ports on top. It's going to have maybe an HDMI port. Don't quote me on this, but it looks like it. Maybe they'll have the, like I said, maybe they'll move the micro SD card slot onto the bottom or something. Maybe they'll use the more faster micro SD cards. I don't know. Can't quote that. And like I said, it still has the headphone jack, power button on top. But that'd be cool, because then if they also have a USB-C port on the bottom too, then you would have 3 of those USB-C ports on that unit, and that'd be badass. And if having a micro HDMI or regular HDMI port on the top, if that's what's true, that means you could just directly hook this up to your TV. That would be so badass. Because then you could just play this right to your TV. You don't have to get a separate Asus ROG Ally conversion plug, which didn't work for me. I tried using that piece of garbage. I bought it. It charges up my Asus ROG Ally, but trying to use the HDMI to transfer video from this to my capture card or something, it did not work. It did not work. I could do this with my other equipment, but it did not work with that. And I'm like, well, that fucking sucks. But it looks like it has a lot more features to it. Like I said, I don't know much more about it. Like I said, the one top portion over here, I can make this bigger again for you video viewers. That is going to be where the Xbox button is. So a lot more interface stuff. And like they said, it's going to be optimized for Xbox, for the Xbox Rog Ally version. I guess they're having 2 versions. They're going to have their own regular bare bones version in that. I don't know about the micro SD card slot or anything. And it should still have on the back, and I'm going to take a look at this other picture here. It's hard to see here, but I'm guessing if they're smart enough, either on the back or bottom or something else, I'm sure there's going to be a way to easily open it up to remove and put in a better M.2 drive into that, because I'm sure these are going to come with like 512 gigabytes of M.2 memory storage in there. Maybe they'll have like a terabyte version, but those are going to be more expensive. For me, which they do in the ROG Ally X, you could put in a full M.2 drive, not like this one, which I would have to convert it to a full drive. I got the half M.2 drive in there, the specialty one. But in the new ones, in the X, it was easy to open it up, put a big regular M.2 drive in there. If that's the case with this, and they make it easy to put a new M.2 drive in, I should be able to pop in an 8 terabyte M.2 drive in this sucker and really have more storage than I ever need out of my new ROG Ally, when I ever can get a hold of Xbox ROG Ally. But It looks like they're doing some stuff. I am super excited about it because, like I said, I love my Rog Ally, folks. I keep talking about it all the time. I love this. Like I said, this is the original Rog Ally I have. The original Z1 Extreme Rog Ally. It plays 99.9% of the games perfectly fine. I played anything that can be played on a PC, emulated, blah, 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 blah. Plays beautifully fine on this Rog Ally. And trust me, this one doesn't even have that much memory in it. It has up to 8 gigs of memory for the VRAM and stuff in it. The newer ones have 16 and plus in them. This has 8, and it plays games pretty damn good. Now, with all this new updated technology and hardware and memory and stuff in them, which I'm sure they're going to have 16 plus gigs of memory in these newer Rog Allies and stuff like that, plus the new SoC chipset from AMD and stuff that they're going to be putting in there, the Z Extreme 3s and stuff like that. These new Rog Allies and the Xbox Rog Ally is going to be kicking some major ass in PC gaming on the go and Xbox gaming, depending on what they can do with the Xbox gaming. I would hope maybe there'll be a little bit of a cross thing where you can play some Xbox games on the Rog Ally. I'm not holding any hopes up for that because I'm sure Microsoft is just going to want to do that with their own hardware and not with a third party doing this. But if it's more powerful and it does what I want it to do better than what my Rog Ally does, I will be extremely happy with it. Just give me the same kind of nits out of the screen because the screen's always nice and bright. I don't care about battery life on this thing because I'm sure the battery life will go to 0 in no time. I'll just keep it plugged in with my extra long USB-C plug. I don't care about it. I know a lot of you are like, oh, but the power is going to be bad. Okay, I don't care. And like I said, if I can easily upgrade the M.2 drive to like an 8 terabyte M.2 drive, that's what I will do. But with the grips and stuff and all this other stuff, and like I said, all the looks, and like I said, it looks like there's going to be 2 M.2 ports on the top and maybe an HDMI port on the top and stuff. That makes me really want to cream in my pants. That makes me really excited. Like I said, Ace has been doing really good by me with my Rog Ally, with updates to software, to games and stuff like that, and to PC games, especially newer PC games, to keeping the back end for Armory Crate working great. But then when the Xbox version comes out, then how much do we need Armory Crate for? Probably still will. I'd probably still use it because I play Steam games and stuff on it as well. It's going to just be a whole lot better. That means I can use my main PC here a lot less and only use it for like gaming wise. And if the Rog Ally, the new Rog Ally, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just speculating all this stuff. If it makes these games look and play a lot better than my Extreme here, maybe I'll be doing more my game streams and plays just from me playing a Rog Ally, having it connected to my capture card, and then you guys are going to see me playing Rog Ally games all the time on my shows and stuff. Who knows? You never know. And then my PC could just be used for just capturing and streaming and stuff, and it saves a lot of extra wattage and extra bandwidth and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I think of the possibilities, folks. I love my Rog Ally. Let's just say. I love my Rog. And what's going to happen to my old Rog Ally? Well, I'm going to keep it. But if so, I'm going to ask around for some friends and people if they might be interested in buying it at a very reduced price, because I know I've been using it a lot. I know it's older technology, but it's still 100% good. So maybe I can sell it off to somebody that might be interested in a used Rog Ally. I'll ask around. I'll see. I'll probably be able to sell it off to somebody, because somebody will be like, ooh, I'll play on that. Hopefully. Let's see here. Like I said, it sports that PC handheld sports some Xbox influence, notably the grips, and should come with a deeper Xbox integration over the regular Asus Rog Ally counterpart. As I said here, the photographs, because I didn't show the other ones, look like there's 2 models that are going to probably be coming out. Maybe the white one's just going to be the pure Asus Rog Ally 2. Maybe they look the same. One's going to be white, one's going to be black, and I'm sure the black one's going to be Xbox. The white one's going to be just the regular Rog Ally, Asus Rog Ally, but it's also going to still have that like Xbox button thing, it looks like. But maybe it's just going to be pure Asus and it's not going to have as much Xbox stuff in it. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do that makes one more different than the other, but maybe one will be less powerful than the other. We'll see. We'll wait and see. Let's see here. Apparently, these are being fully tested at Microsoft right now and talking about other stuff. Very excited. I'm very excited. Christmas has already come for me once. It's going to come for me again with this Asus Xbox Asus Rog Ally thing. I'm excited. As a gamer, I'm excited. This is my Switch. This is my Switch. Now, the rest of you can have the Switch 2s. You got the pre-orders. The new ones pre-ordered, go ahead. This Asus Rog Ally 2 or Asus Xbox Rog Ally, that's going to be my Switch 2. That's what I'm willing to spend $600+ for all that stuff, because I do more of my gaming on PCs, folks. What can I say? On PC and Xbox, what can I say? Not to sound too bad about it, but yeah. Let's see here. We're getting kind of close to my point, and we still got a lot of news stories here, so we're going to rush through some of these news stories. But we're back to GTA, some more GTA 6 from the trailer. I just copied down a few things. There was some sites going down to and announcing, like talking about all the stuff that they seen in the trailer, on the sequel trailer. I just wrote down a few things here that I took from these other sites. So GTA 6 has been delayed to May 2026, as we know. As revealed in the description, GTA 6 will follow the story of Jason and Lucia, a couple who find themselves in the middle of a criminal conspiracy after an easy score goes wrong. Who would have guessed that, folks? When does that never happen? That never happens in a GTA game, right? Right. Our first protagonist is Jason Duval. So is that really our first protagonist? Or, oh, it has to be, because he's in the trailer, he's getting Lucia out of jail. So I wonder if it's going to be just like GTA 5, where you got the two protagonists. So the first is Jason Duval, a dude just looking for an easy life in a world that keeps making things harder. Oh, don't you know it, folks? That's some truth right there, folks. That's some truth for you. He had a troubled youth. He had a troubled youth, something he attempted to escape by joining the army, but his dark past keeps catching up with him. These days, it seems like he's working in sales and services for Leonida Marine Center, as seen on the white t-shirt he's wearing in a couple of the scenes. But we also know, thanks to information from the newly updated GTA website, that he's working for local drug runners as well, because why not? Gotta make that paper somehow. Jason falls in love with Lucia Caminos. Okay, Lucia Caminos, our second protagonist. She's recently served a stint in the Leonida Penitentiary, but now that she's out, she plans to build a better life for herself, a life with Jason, and probably a lot of guns, drugs, explosions, and prior GTA games are anything to go by. Now, there was something, I don't know if it's from the original GTA game, it probably was, and there was people talking about it. Didn't they say she was pregnant? Didn't they say she had a baby or something? Wasn't she have a kid, maybe? Where does that fall in? I don't know. Maybe they took that out. I don't know. I thought there was some rumors or talk. I'm just speculating. I thought she had a kid or something. But maybe not. Maybe they took that whole thing out. I don't know. We'll find out later, 2026. But you would think, if they're doing a lot of nasty, maybe she would have a kid. Because do you think Jason and Lucia, not to be hyper, because this can happen to anybody, but do you think these two would really think about contraceptives and condoms and birth control? Especially if they're in love, they just want to fuck and get it on all the time, of course they're going to have some kids popping out. Of course there's got to be a kid somewhere. I'm just saying, because it can happen to any of us, not just them. Early in the trailer, we were introduced to Jason's landlord, an old geezer called Brian. Brian, or Mr. Heater to you, is a longtime drug runner smuggling product through the Leonida Keys. He also does this via his very legitimate boat business, Brian's Boat Works in Marina, which we see later on in the trailer. As the game's synthesis reveals, Jason and Lucia's story begins with a score going wrong. We may well be seeing that job in action during a scene in the trailer in which Jason and Lucia rob the Sinfrontera National Bank wearing skull bandanas over their faces. We see Jason goes to pick Lucia up from the Leonida Penitentiary. She's wearing her electronic ankle tag as she leaves the prison, which we first saw in the game's key art, and she could be seen wearing it in several other shots. I wonder how that tracker is going to come into play in this game. Is she going to have it through most of the game, or are they going to take it off in some way? Are these people got some smart hackers that are going to hack that off of her, and then when she needs to have it on for cops to think, when they come looking for her at her house or something, they see it and she just has it on? Is there going to be some trickery going on with that? Because she can't be going out and doing drug running and killing and all that other stuff and going all over the place without that thing being tracked and going off. So there's got to be something with that. There's got to be something going on with that tracker and what we're going to see and if it's going to be long for the world or not. That's something I'm completely interested in. Plus, there's other stuff that was going on. I did not write everything down. I just want to write down the things that I noticed and saw in there. There's some Musclehead Beach stuff going on in there. There's a lot of stuff. It looks like a beautiful world. It looks like it's going to be a really awesome, unique story and game. I'm so happy that Rockstar is preserving the main game of the series and not just going, oh, we're just going to do this as all open world shit and stuff. Maybe the next game in 2052 or whatever the next Grand Theft Auto comes out, I'll definitely be late 40s by then. Maybe 50. I don't know. I'm 38 now, folks. So the next Grand Theft Auto, I'll probably be like late 40s, maybe 50. So it'll be coming close to when I decide to retire or early retirement, I should say. If I do plan on early retiring, I got somewhat of a plan on early retirement that I'm planning on doing. We'll see how that comes together in this world, but yeah. Yeah, there's some, that's going to be a while before the next Grand Theft Auto. So this is going to be, it's really good that they're making a good story and it's going to be a good, hopefully a very long campaign because there's got a lot of state that they're going to be doing. They're going to be doing a big state here this time, not just the little area like Vice City that they're talking about. They're going to be doing a whole state and all that stuff. It's going to be a lot of area to cover. So it's going to be a lot of fun, especially when they do it on GT Online where they have all that area. Big game. Big game. So, quicker news here. Nintendo is suing an accessory maker over infringement, unfair competition, and false advertising for releasing Switch 2 mock-ups weeks before reveal. So, we all remember Genki, right? They make all those aftermarket, things for gaming consoles and controllers and all that other stuff for Nintendo products and probably Xbox, PlayStation, anybody that they do. And apparently they got their hands on some prototype. They were able to, some prototype or mock-ups or something, and they were able to get dimensions from it and stuff for the Switch 2 prototype, and they were able to make accessories for it early, and then they were talking about it at CES 2005 on the show floor, where they had mock-ups were allegedly created using the real console as a reference. And Nintendo and their lawyers are like, no. So apparently, early December 2024, Genki embarked upon this strategic campaign intended to capitalize on public interest in surrounding Nintendo's. Because it's not like Genki was working with Nintendo directly; they were working with some shady third party, maybe some. Are they from? Is Genki in China? Are they a Chinese company or are they? I should look this up. Let's see here. Are they a Japanese or a Chinese company? Genki. Genki. I don't even know if I spelled it right. Genki. Chinese company. And people are probably swearing at me. Mike, no. Oh, this is talking about what? No, that's totally wrong. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Genki. Let's just copy and paste this because apparently I can't write. This is a soft drink company. Shit. Hold on, folks. I'm being stupid, and everything's acting up stupidly for me because I can't. Okay. Let's copy. Let's paste. Paste. Not copy, paste. There we go. Let's see here. Genki. I don't know. It wouldn't be an electronics company. It would be aftermarket. Oh, electronics. Oh, manufacturing. Okay, here we go. What a Chinese startup of a Japanese-like brand domain. Recently, let's see here. Genki for Chinese, but it's actually a Chinese company. Is this it? Genki Industry Computers. Founded 2015. Locations. Redvik, Borg, and Turgen. That don't sound like anything Chinese or Japanese. That sounds like something else. Headquarters. Reykjavik. What? Reykjavik? Is this like Russian or something? Or hold up here. Hold up. I gotta find this stuff out for myself because I don't. Iceland. Oh, it's an Icelandic company. Okay. Okay, so Genki's an Icelandic. So Reykjavik is capital of Iceland. So they're an Icelandic company. Okay. Iceland. Okay. Not Greenland, Iceland. Okay. So they're trying to do this stuff out of Iceland, and now they're getting slapped by Nintendo and their lawyers, which say, goodbye, Genki. You guys are going to be paying a lot of money and probably going out of business. Good job. Good job of getting your company squashed by Nintendo and their lawyers, because you know how they are. They're a litigious, Apple-like company that will go after you and bury you to the ends of earth, especially when you steal their proprietary technology and try to use it to sell it, especially when Nintendo's asking for them to pay them lots of money and to destroy all of their product, because I guess they got a lot of product already for the Nintendo Switch 2 for launch, and I guess Nintendo's like, no, we want all that destroyed. No, we want them to pay us and destroy all that product. So bye-bye, Genki. Yeah. That's going to be harsh for them. It's going to suck. But maybe they should have not did that. That's a no-no. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but that seems to me, even to me, a big no-no, folks. Other news, Nintendo Switch 2 news. Apparently, a guy, a hardware sleuth named Geeker1 managed to obtain an engineering board for the device of the Switch 2. So Nintendo Switch 2's SoC die shot reveals 8X A78C cores, 1,536 aperture shaders, and been made with the Samsung's 8N process, which is using the Tegra technology using Samsung's 8N process. So basically, this guy Geekerwan, which I'm sure he's gonna get slapped by Nintendo. If I know Nintendo, they're gonna go after him probably next. I would guess. I don't know. But for some way, he obtained an engineering board for the device. This allowed him to put the onboard Tegra T239 SoC under a FIB-SEM, focused ion beam scanning electron microscope. That's some technology right there, folks. To examine the chips and kernels, allowing for precise layer-by-layer analysis of the structure, revealing important details such as core layout, process nodes, and all that stuff. So he's got a proton beam focused electron microscope looking into the chipset like they do at the plants that makes this stuff, and he's going big time to find out what's in this SoC for the Nintendo Switch 2 or system on a chip. So apparently the board was acquired by a hardware analyst Kernel from XIANYU, Tabo's version of eBay. So this has got to be definitely a Chinese company. And then passed on to Geekerwan. Either way, this analysis answers many questions as Nintendo has yet to officially disclose many SoC details. Of course, they're not going to say that. But it measures around 207 millimeters squared in size. So this chip apparently is bigger or twice as large as the previous X1 SoC Tegra 210 chip, which was used in the original Switch. So this is bigger. It's a bigger chip. And apparently they're using Samsung's process, which blends features from its 10 nanometer and 8 nanometer technologies, because they want to keep it cheaper. Because if they're not trying to squish it down even more, because doing like a 5 nanometer or less, that costs more to produce the chips, even though they're making them smaller and stuff. They're harder to make, so it means more costs. So they wanted to keep them, relatively on a bigger scale for the chips, which are not that much bigger. He was showing it. It was like, this big for the chip or something? Not that big, but in terms of technology and trying to squeeze a lot of stuff into a little thing like this, it's kind of big, and it does use probably a little bit more power, but apparently they're using a 10 and 8 nanometer thing. And then they said in this article that maybe down the road when they redesign or whatever for the Nintendo Switch 2, maybe they'll go to a 5 nanometer process down the road, which makes sense. And they talk into this article about all the cores, and I'm not going to get into that because that doesn't really care. You guys won't care about it. Also, you already know that it's coming with 256 gigabytes of on the SoC for the storage. It uses the UFS 3.1 storage system as well. The memory is being produced by SK Hynix, which they're a good memory company. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth modules are sourced from MediaTek. The built-in power delivery system can supply up to 34.4 watts of power. But the people are saying that probably the Switch 2 won't use that much. We're looking at 12 gigabytes of 2 times 6 gigabytes of LPDDR5X 8533 RAM, so a lot more than what the Switch 2 they say it's going to need, and that's also by SK Hynix, but they're downclocking it to 64,000 MTS docked and 42,266 in the handheld mode for power, for saving on power, but they'll have that overhead for how much speed they can do on the RAM down the road, so if they utilize better system software and stuff, maybe they'll bump up how much RAM they can use, but they got extra RAM to play with, or speed to play with the storage and the RAM itself, so that's cool. So potentially the system could be, the Switch 2 could be a little bit even faster and more powerful, but they're downclocking everything. They're doing all that stuff because they want to save on the power, and they know it's powerful enough to do what they want to do and what third parties want to do with it for right now. So they're trying to keep it so they don't have another Switch 1 issue where games aren't running as good and stuff. They got that overhead, so they got that extra power. So that's pretty interesting. I like that. That's pretty good stuff right there. I think it's pretty sweet stuff to get a look in the inside of this Nintendo Switch 2, even though I'm not going to get one right away. I'll wait till an OLED version comes out. If I get one at all, who knows? And it's interesting to look at that technology. I used to do technology, looking into all sorts of boards and stuff, but for what you're playing with, that's pretty cool stuff. And talking about the final news story, I was going to do more, but I want to get out of here because I got some outside yard work to do and stuff, a lot of it. We're going to talk about the Microsoft raising the Xbox and game prices, setting rising costs. Not talking about tariffs, but I'm sure they're kind of mentioning it. But I doubt it's anything to do with tariffs. And two, they're not in any position to... Here's the thing. Microsoft and Xbox, they should not be raising prices. They should be holding off prices to say, hey, all you other people out there, you're raising your prices. We're going to keep ours the same to get customers to go, oh, well, look at Microsoft. When everybody like Sony's raising their prices and raising all this stuff and costs, Microsoft is still holding firm and keeping their prices level. Maybe we'll go over to Xbox and the Microsoft platform because they're not trying to upcharge us. And what are they doing differently that they're not upcharging us and stuff? But I guess because Microsoft's a corporation, corporations have shareholders, and the management and everybody and the CEO over there in Nadella is saying, we need to make more money. We can't have you guys making us less money. Because that's all they want to do is go up. They don't want things to fall. They want things to go up. If things start to fall, that's a no-no over there at Microsoft, like any company, but bigger at Microsoft. So they're like, you got to raise the prices on this console. Even if you sell less, you got to raise the prices. Which, them raising the console price by $80 to $100. So the Series S 512 gigabyte console will cost $380 now. So instead of $300, it's an increase of $80. So it's going up $80. The Series X console will sell now for $600 from $500. So that's $100 more. The controller and headset prices are also getting increases. And this is 2 weeks after rival Sony hiked up its prices for the PS5 everywhere. And they talk about, oh, we understand that these changes are challenging, blah, 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 blah. You know, corporate speak, saying the rise across the development, blah, blah, blah. But you're not selling as much. So I'm guessing that's costing them more. So they're going to try to upcharge. But the whole thing is, if they're becoming more of a third-party studios and all that stuff over there at Xbox, and it's anything's an Xbox, PC, your phone, tablet, TV, whatever can go on the internet can be your new Xbox. I think because they don't really care about their hardware as much as they would because they know it's not selling everywhere. And it keeps losing selling share to PlayStation for some reason, which is surprising. But now that PlayStation gets Xbox games, why do people have to go to Xbox when they could just go to PlayStation or the PC? It's like, okay, Microsoft isn't going to focus on Xbox, even though they are creating a new Xbox down the road, which, frankly, why? Why would anybody want to try to increase or make a better Xbox or PlayStation now? Because things are not, nobody's building games that are utilizing these consoles with all these years in right now. I think they said it was 5 years into these consoles' life cycles or something. But still, I think that's a bad thing. Them raising the consoles. That just says you're not going to sell any more consoles. People are not going to spend $600 on a Series X. Nobody's going to spend $380 on a Series S. Maybe they might on a Series S. I don't know. Maybe there'll be price decreases over time for that. But I wish Xbox and Microsoft, and I'm sure Phil Spencer and them were like pleading, saying, don't do this because you're just killing our hardware brand even more, and putting it, and they're like, sorry, we just want to make more money, and if we're not selling that many consoles, we got to make our money on the least amount of consoles that we're selling on people. So, and maybe it'll get people to buy more consoles before the prices go up. I don't know. It's just bad precedent. And out of everybody, I would have hoped that Microsoft would have tried to keep it, because they are in last place still, unless if this whole we're selling on PlayStation everywhere else thing gives them more money. They used to be like, let's hold off. Let's keep the prices the same. I'm sure people in the gaming market would go, they're keeping prices the same there. Maybe we'll go to Microsoft. But here's the other blow. They're raising the prices of games again, just like everybody else, from $70 to $80 for their first-party titles. Did Sony do that too? I don't know if Sony announced that they did. I think they did, but they're doing the Nintendo where they're changing, because everybody in the games industry already raised all their prices to $70 for their games because they said they were not making enough money from their games already. Now you're making your first-party titles, which weren't always the best, even these new ones. Are they worth $80 for a new remastered version of Oblivion or Forza or, I don't know, this Doom game? Is it going to be worth $80 for people? I know Call of Duty, they can sell it for $80, but will these other games for $80? Is that actually worth the money for these games? Now, I'm going to say that's bullshit. I think $70 was overpriced for these gen games. Now Microsoft's saying $80, and the rest of the industry, because now Microsoft's doing it, Nintendo's dabbled in it, and they're gonna double down even more on it. The rest of the industry is gonna follow suit. Everybody's gonna start charging $80 for their games. I'm sure Grand Theft Auto 6 is gonna be $80. Everything else is gonna be $80, and you're just gonna price out more people. More people not willing to spend that money, going to wait for sales if there's going to be sales down the road. You're going to price people out. Less people are going to buy your products. Less people are going to buy more games for systems, because you're going from 50 from back in the day all the way to 80, because you got too much of this ballooning of productions. Because there's the problem. They're back making these games is getting way too costly. They're putting too much junk into their games. There's too much filler in games already. You don't need to make every game a big game or expensive game. You don't have to put filler in all your games. You could just make a great game with a great simple story, like LolliPop Chainsaw or The South of Midnight when I played that. Those are straightforward games. There wasn't a ton of extra crap in them and stuff. Well, LolliPop Chainsaw, they had all the extra stuff you can get, but you didn't have to play it. I played the game. I was done. They didn't add all that extra hack of crap in them. It was just stories, games, fun. There's your money. Now they're on $80. I know a lot of people and a lot of friends are going to say, fuck that shit, especially for Microsoft stuff and Xbox titles and stuff. And if everybody else is going to do it, that means less sales, less money in the industry. That also means you're killing your fan base. You're killing the industry slowly or faster, depending on how it's going, because these consoles have not proven themselves yet. The software out there has not proven itself yet, even though we've been getting a lot of great titles from Microsoft lately. I also know that what Xbox and Microsoft are thinking now, they're thinking, okay, we're raising the prices of our first-party games. We're going to raise prices on everything else because they own most of the first-party. They're going to own a lot of those games now. People will come to Game Pass. They'll pay $20 a month. Or if it goes up, it might go up to $25 a month. I'm sure we'll get a Game Pass subscription update sooner or later, that'll say, hey, we're raising the price of Game Pass again. Obviously, I knew that was going to happen because now they're getting in all these extra games and all this stuff. They're going to say, hey, we're worth more than that. It might go up to $25. I'm pretty sure it might. I'm prepared for that. And the fact of the matter is, it's still worth the money to me because I play a lot of games from Game Pass on my PC, Rog Ally, and Xbox Series X. So it's worth it for the price for me for Game Pass Ultimate for now. But when's it going to get too high? And hopefully they don't try to go up to $30 with that, because then that's going to be like, ugh. What is too much? That is too much. And when are you going to price out everybody where people are going to be like, well, I got to save money. I'm just going to play the older games on my systems. I'm going to just buy my games on Steam or something, get those Steam sales and get those other sales going on. Or people won't buy any of your stuff at all, or your software titles. And then you're going to lose the people, you're going to lose the money, you're going to lose the fan base, and the whole industry is going to go. It's going to turn into that. It's going to turn into Hollywood, and how the movie industry, the film industry, and cinemas are going. Because people are not trying to reduce costs. They keep building and ballooning costs. Look at Grand Theft Auto 6. I hear that's costing them more than $1 billion or something to make that game. These costs are getting too big. Once in a super blue moon, if you want to do like one game and make it really big and stuff, go ahead. But otherwise, you should keep games tighter, smaller. Because a lot of these other third parties out there and people making their own indie games and stuff, they make them nice and tight. They make them smaller. They're fun as hell. They charge a good price, and they sell a lot of them because they're not ballooning up the price. These corporations and stuff and shareholding places, they're just bad. And I say this all the time. I hate this. I think it's bullshit. I think Microsoft, even though I send so much praise and love over to Microsoft and Xbox and stuff, sometimes I also have to say, fuck you, Microsoft. Fuck you, Xbox. Even as an Xbox fanboy here, I say fuck you, because that's bullshit. That is all bullshit. That should not be. That should not be at all. We should not be having this discussion on this bullshit. And I picked the wrong thing. Why did I pick that thing? There we go. We shouldn't be seeing or hearing this stuff from these people saying, no, we're just going to keep raising prices. You just already raised prices for this generation. You went to $70. How well has that been doing for everybody? Now you're going to jump it to $80 in less than, a year of talking about it. That's not good. And you can't blame tariffs, can't blame all that other stuff. It's because you guys are ballooning your costs. Because most of these games you can get digital. You can't just say, oh, it's because of physical, we're stamping games, even though they're just key codes and stuff in Mexico or something, and we're shipping them. That's bullshit, because you sell them digitally, and most people have been buying your games digitally. So you got to say, well, there's no cost there. There's no overhead except for maybe internet and putting it out there. Otherwise, it's all your internal costs. And you're doing it to your fucking selves. And as a gamer, and with a big giant back catalog, and if, for now, I'm still going to keep Game Pass because it still gives me all my games and I get a lot of stuff from it. But otherwise, like I've been waiting. Like I said, I've been waiting. I haven't bought Assassin's Creed Shadows yet because I'm waiting for that price to go drop. When that price drops, I will use my $50 Xbox gift card to buy that, because then I'll get it cheaper, partial the price, and then it's worth the play. If it's any other game out there like GTA 6, I might buy it because I know GTA 6 probably will give me a very long time of fun, but also I might have a gift card ready for it, because I'm not going to spend $80 on GTA 6 out of my own pocketbook. I'm just not going to do it. I already spent enough on the hardware and everything else. I don't want to do that. And I come from a land where games used to be $40 and $50 was the high price tag. Now you're just pricing out the rest. And this is not just for our country. It's worse in other countries. And it's bad. It's a bad way of going where it's going. It's going in a bad way. And things need to change, or else, I hate to say, this industry, besides GiantBomb and everything else going away, you're going to hurt a big chunk of the industry. More people are going to get laid off out of jobs. Studios are going to close. Games are going to get less made. The gaming industry will become a niche of its former self. And it won't be that big, happy industry it used to be. It already isn't. E3's dead. Everything else has gone away. Like I said, I still try very hard to praise Xbox, and I'm going to watch the showcase with gleeful smiles and stuff, but in the back of my head, I do know that A lot of stuff behind the scenes at Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. Bullshit. Bullshit. And that's what we're going to end it off with. I don't want to end it. I shouldn't have ended it off in a somber note because, like I said, still can't wait to the Rog Ally, the Xbox Rog Ally. I cannot wait till I get my new smartphone. I got a new 2025 Razer Plus smartphone coming to me in a couple weeks, so I can't wait to get that. Hopefully that's going to be good and it doesn't break on me because I'm worried about the folding hinge, but I need a new phone. My smartphone, I didn't realize I had this since 2021, and it works, but like I said, I usually try to keep these as long as possible, but because the software keeps crashing on this, I have to reboot this phone a lot. Sometimes the battery life doesn't stick. A lot of problems with this phone. It's still a beautiful, fully working phone. It's just it has a lot of software issues, a lot of stuff. It doesn't have the latest Android or security updates to it. I think it's about time to get a new one. And if I'm going to get a new one, I might as well splurge a little bit. So I'm buying a premium phone for once. I hate to do that. I don't really like spending $1,000+ on a phone. I usually spend like $400 or less. But if I want to keep this a little bit longer, I'm thinking this Razer Plus is going to last me a lot longer. It's going to be powerful enough to last me longer, even after software updates and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Doom, the new Doom game, Doom the Dark Ages. I'm excited about a lot of stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that's been happening that's just been stabbing in the heart. You know what I mean? But we got to try to keep positive here, folks. Let's try to keep positive. Let's play some games. Let's do some fun. But from right now, I'm going to end this podcast. I'm going to go outside and do some yard work, have some fun outside, painting and yard working. You guys have some fun playing some games, and hopefully you share this, post this, share it to everybody, the video portion of the podcast, listen to the audio portion. You could get this audio portion, any podcast app, just go to type in GamezAttack podcast. You could get it on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, whatever. Like I said, you could get on YouTube. You could get it right from my website at OldFreakyGamer.com. It's right there. Subscribe to the podcast. It's free. Everything's free. So, subscribe to my YouTube page. Go to OldFreakyGamer.com. Watch my videos. I got more stuff coming out this week. I got another Let's Play, a Switch 1 Memories Let's Play. We got some, like I said, we got some stuff on Thursday and Friday with Doom the Dark Ages. A lot of stuff. A lot of great stuff. So thinking positive, folks. Thinking positive. So until next time, folks, I'm gonna leave this with you guys. That's why I play games, to think positive. So, till next time, folks, I'm Mr. Mike. This has been the GamezAttack podcast, episode 58. I hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, game on, game hard, world conquest. I'm pushing this gaming button. The show is now game over. So, peace out.
Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
Game over.
Family Computer